it's being communicated that it's not reversible,
That's right.
which it 100% is. Food, movement, sleep. Those are the foundations of the body. It's the only thing the body needs. And so what happens is people, like you said, jump to step 9, 10, 11,
Yeah.
rather than starting with the foundations.
How do you think about, and this is something, again, we've been spending a lot of time talking about here, which is the gut's role in estrogen metabolism, estrogen detox.
Mhm.
How do you think about, from a nutrition perspective, hormones like estrogen? We are seeing, which is really concerning and alarming, an increasing amount of estrogen dominance in the US. Also seeing a rise in things like polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, which we've mentioned. PCOS is affecting, it's hard to pin down, somewhere between 10 to 15% of women. Most of it's going undiagnosed. And it is right now what's being charted as the leading cause of infertility. So this is something that's
Mhm.
really, I think, unfortunately, just kind of at the beginning because of the metabolic dysfunction of women.
Well, and it's being communicated that it's not reversible,
That's right.
which it 100% is.
That's exactly right. How do you think about all of these things and where we're at
Well,
culturally and what we can do?
the starting point is always foundations.
Mhm.
Foundations, which is food, movement, sleep. Those are the foundations of the body. It's the only thing the body needs. And so what happens is people, like you said, jump to step 9, 10, 11,
Yeah.
rather than starting with the foundations. Eating the principles of what I teach in the Feel Good Way
Mm.
is always the starting point. Eating whole foods from the season that we're in is the starting point. And people say, well, oh, my kid is picky. Well, we have to teach our kids what real food
Yeah,
is. Like, you can't claim picky for fake food,
that's right.
That's just what they have associated with food. So you have to, rewire the system a little bit. I'm not saying that's an easy process because my problem child is my husband, not my kids. But I am seeing the estrogen issue with late teens, like way more than I ever would have imagined. And these are girls that didn't take the pill.
Mhm,
These are girls that weren't introduced to birth control.
mhm.
So it is alarming, and I don't have all the answers, but I do think that step one is always starting with foundations, eating to balance your blood sugar, um, maybe supporting drainage pathways. I like doing this through not adding necessarily to the body, but helping the body eliminate.
Mhm.
So, like detox baths and sauna.
Yeah,
And people always say, "Oh, is that safe for my kid?" What?
yeah, yeah.
You're giving them antibiotics and you don't know if they have a bacterial infection, but you're wondering if clay in your bath is safe. So,
It's
I don't get it. I do have a detox bath that is coming out soon, by the way,
that's awesome.
because I do think the future of healing starts with how do we let the body release naturally.
Yeah,
Like, the body never meant to hold on to so much estrogen, and
yeah.
the immune system is what, 60-70% in our gut.
Yep,
So the starting point is our gut.
yep.
So, like, how do we fuel our gut? How does our gut feel generally? Like, how, like, tracking your stool,
Mhm.
how is your stool formed? Like, that tells us a lot of information about the body.
And a lot of women right now are working, which isn't a bad thing, but there's realities with that, in that, to cook good, nutritious food and to be present, it's not something that you throw into a microwave. It's not something that's easy. You have
No.
to restructure your day. And I always say this to everyone, treat it as it is a spiritual practice, because it is.
Yes.
And you have to look at it as, this is quite literally like life force, right? This is fueling our family. It is a life force. And we think about this as well as how much we spend on our food, right? There's a lot of other
Mhm.
things that are not worth your money. So with that, there's so many people that would just say, it's cooking for a large family. It's just not feasible. What are your thoughts on that? How do you structure your day and prioritize this with kids?
You said it's a life force.
Mhm.
And if I didn't fuel myself this way, I wouldn't be able to maintain and manage my life. I have often asked God, am I still doing what you want me to do?
Yep.
I never planned to be a working mom. He called me to this kingdom assignment, and here I am. And I continue to show up, but I
Yep.
continue to question it because my kids need 100% of me. In
Yeah.
order for me to give them my 100%, I have to feel good.
Yep.
And it all goes back to, why I wrote this book. The
Mhm.
whole purpose of my philosophy is feeling good. not just so you can look good, but so
Yep.
you can sustain your life, your work environment, your kids. I automatically make 4 lunches a day. I
Mhm.
pack their lunches. I don't leave it to them
Mhm.
because I don't want them to not get enough protein or
Mhm.
fiber. We're relying on pumpkin seeds right now for a good source of protein and fiber in lunches and snacks. Non-allergenic, or I
Mhm.
guess some people are allergic, but
Yeah.
it's not a peanut or
Yeah.
a tree nut, which is, schools. So anyways, I pack the 4 lunches every day. I make them breakfast every day. I make sure that these are macro balanced. I
Yep.
send them with their lunch and I hope they eat it, right?
Yep. Yep.
um, I usually have a dinner plan late morning. Right now I have an Instacart order out that's coming any minute from Aldi actually.
Yep.
So yeah, there are like lower cost ways to do it. I probably do an Instacart or shipped order every other day just so I don't overwhelm my space because 6 large people live in my house
Yeah.
that eat 4 real food meals a day.
Yep.
And I don't have the refrigerator space for all that. Or even if I did, my mind doesn't have enough capacity for 7 meals at a time. Does that make sense? So I
Totally.
do 2 to 3 days at a time of food.
Totally. The other thing which you nailed, any kind of economic hacks as a parent, because that's the other thing you hear, right? I mean, I've been interviewed on Fox many, many times, and it's like almost always it comes up of, okay, but how do we get, high quality foods to people
Mhm.
at an affordable price? From a grocery perspective, how do you look at that? Are there any things that you found that are still high quality foods and high quality methods that are much more reasonable?
Always buying in bulk is going to be beneficial.
Yep.
So like I do probably a Costco order every week or every other week. Um, rice and beans,
Yep.
obviously super economical and super nutrient dense. We're a white rice family personally. We don't do brown rice, which is
Yep.
a more expensive version, unless it's the pasta. We do
We're
brown
we're
rice
a white
pasta.
rice family too, so
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
One that's tested high for heavy metals knows what we're talking about.
Yep.
Um, So, Aldi has a ton of organic options. Their bone broth is half the price of what's the really good brand I can't think of right now. It starts with a K.
Kettle and Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, half the price. String cheese, organic string cheese, organic apples. So whatever's in season, you're going to get organic for half the price at Aldi.
Yeah.